Okay, I had to have made some kind of a dent by now.
Poor guy, he's going to be there all day. Does he know how many people were censored for political speech? It's a lot of people. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. This is Luke Gradowski here of WeAreChange.org, and there is so much absolutely crazy news to get into today, especially when it comes to the meme-averse, as Elon Musk himself has fact-checked some real-life fake news from Hillary Clinton, as the story about Paul Pelosi just gets a lot more bewildering and confusing. We're going to be talking about that. All the major fact checks, people being called out on their bullcrap, what's coming our way on Twitter. Well, we're going to be talking about that, plus a lot more. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing, you could get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And, of course, the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast is by the extremely talented Drafanzer Memes. And if you're not following him on Twitter, what are you waiting for? If he has a YouTube page, we, of course, will link it down in the description below. But, of course, you could watch many of his amazing memes and clips and goofs and gags and jokes, all specifically on his Twitter page. Twitter at Drafanzer. If again, we'll just link it all down in the description below. As, of course, it is brilliant comedic meme magic that definitely deserves to be shared widely. Now, in the making of this video, it definitely looks like the political discussion in this country is centered around the horrible events that led to, of course, Paul Pelosi being attacked. The Speaker of the House husband who was attacked recently, and automatically this tragic event is being heavily politicized as, of course, a lot of people are selecting whatever elements of the story that they want to pick and choose in order to set a narrative here that works for them in a political advantage. When in reality, we should be saying, hey, this is horrible that this happened. We don't know what happened yet. We shouldn't be jumping to conclusions, and we shouldn't be using this horrible incident for political brownie points. And that's the exact opposite of what happens. And here, as an independent media organization, we, of course, have and always will have call out political violence for what it is, absolute idiocy, tools of low IQ thinkers, and something that no matter who it affects should always be called out against. Unlike, of course, many famous leftist commentators who on social media routinely call for political violence, like Brooklyn Dad Defiant, and of course other commentators that do call for political violence, but then when it happens against their side, they feign with how horrified they are. And again, how about we just don't call for violence in the first place, which is, again, what we've been doing here from the very beginning. And in the midst of all of this, it's important to note here that Paul Pelosi did suffer serious injuries. He did have to have brain surgery. And I think first, before doing anything else, we have to call out this specific violence, as well as any other idiot and pundit that has previously called for violence. The second thing we should do from this incident is, of course, try to understand it. Now, according to the corporate media, according to the official version, there was a crazed man that was radicalized and became far right because of the internet, and then he came to personally take out the Pelosis, launching a very vicious political attack on them. And when he couldn't get Nancy Pelosi, he then, of course, used a hammer against her husband, injuring him very severely. That's the official story. Now, I think it's important to take this story one by one and kind of break it down here, especially when it comes to the larger assertions by the corporate media that he was some kind of right-wing radical, when we're finding out he was a part of a nudist hippie commune in Berkeley, California, lived in a van, and sold hemp jewelry. Now, that right there doesn't signal the larger tropes of right-wing ideology there, to say the least. This attacker's previous lover was a pro-nudist activist that, of course, was also a very strong left-wing personality. And if that wasn't enough to kind of question that official narrative, we also have reporting from The Guardian that literally detailed how he was listed years ago in voting records as voting for the Green Party. You go even a little further, there's allegedly blogs written by this guy talking about invisible fairy friends, and whether they are his writings or not, they do talk about someone who was, quote, off the wall, which was the way that his neighbors described him, talking about how he used to routinely abuse and sell psychedelic drugs, and essentially, as Michael Schellenberger calls him, a, quote, psychotic homeless addict estranged from his child-hurting lover and their children, who was most likely in the, quote, grip of a drug-induced psychosis, which makes sense when the actions are described here, rather than, of course, just some kind of right-wing organized plot against the Pelosi's here. Yeah, I'll be honest here, it doesn't seem like he's been predominantly driven by right-wing ideology or conspiracy theories. It seems like he was just a crazy person, and the story here gets even crazier from here, as of course Politico is also reporting today that officers on the scene of the attack arrived at the Pelosi's house, knocked on the front door, and were, quote, let inside by an unknown person, and then they, quote, discovered DePapi and Pelosi struggling for a hammer. There's other people hypothesizing that potentially the glass was broken from the inside rather than the outside. Again, I don't know about these things. Other people are bringing up the 911 call, as he then described the attacker as someone named David, that he is a friend with of course other corporate media outlets saying that he was doing this as a coy way in order to get the police officers there. And what exactly happened there, what transpired there, I don't know. And I think it's too early to jump to conclusions. I think it's fair that we should at least wait to assess the situation, to wait until more information comes out before having any kind of hypotheses here. But that, of course, is something that Hillary Clinton is not doing. And again, trying to use this tragedy as a way to score political points. This, again, is just disgusting behavior, with her specifically using this strategy and saying on Twitter recently that, quote, the Republican Party and its mouthpieces now, quote, regularly spread hate and deranged conspiracy theories. It is, quote, shocking but not surprising that violence is the result. Again, Hillary Clinton is trying to say that all people who don't believe the government, who are a part of the Republican Party, are somehow responsible for this, and that again is an unhinged, dangerous, radicalized idea that is pushing more partisanship in this country and more division. Hillary Clinton then goes on and says, as citizens, we must hold them accountable for their words and their actions that follows. Again, Hillary Clinton is now hinting at the fact that people need to be punished for being a part of the Republican Party. People need to be punished for being conspiracy theorists and not believing the government 100% of the time. And that right there is deranged thinking. This is the same Hillary Clinton that just a couple days ago told the internet that right-wing extremists already have plans to seal the next election in 2024. And as her language becomes more hyperbolic, more unchecked, more radicalized, it's also important to note here that very few people are able to call her out in the establishment, as of course a lot of the people usually stay silent on it or cheer on her crazed messages, except for today, when Elon Musk officially responded to this particular tweet by Hillary Clinton saying, quote, there is a tiny possibility there might be more to this story than meets the eye, specifically highlighting a tweet talking about the potential of an alternative theory of what happened to Paul Pelosi here, saying that this could have been a cover-up for something that could have been happening intimately between the two. Now again, Elon Musk didn't say this was a reality. He says there's a small possibility that this could be the case here. But of course now we have a media firestorm with many people in the political establishment, including big pharma representatives like Jimmy Kimmel, who came out and said that Elon Musk is full of ish. And again, I will revert back to my original statement, which was ushered also by Mike Cernovich, who said, waiting for evidence and refusing to accept evidence-free narrative is now a conspiracy theory. And I think he hit the nail on the head here, as at the end of the day, we still don't know what's going on here. Show us evidence, we'll look at it. Either way, what matters at the end of the day is what you could prove, and right now we just know very little. Now, what I do know a lot about is, of course, thebestpoliticalshirts.com, where we have just launched a brand new spanking t-shirt that is definitely going to be raising a lot of eyebrows, having a lot of very fun conversations with like-minded individuals, and of course making people laugh, as we have just officially released our Ligma Johnson 2024 t-shirt, a candidate that's going to be hard on a lot of issues. A candidate that will rise up to the opportunity given to them. A candidate that will not be soft on the issues that don't matter. And I know a lot of statists, they have your candidates, you know who you're voting for. But me personally, I'm voting for Ligma Johnson in 2024. And if you are too, you can get the t-shirt now on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. You could also get this one, the free as your bird Elon Musk Twitter shirt, also available on the thebestpoliticalshirts.com. We got a lot of them. And truly, with some ideas being censored online, and now finally the prospects of that not happening, but one of the few ways where you could still get your message across and spread political ideas without any form of censorship is by simply wearing those ideas on your clothes. And this is why we started thebestpoliticalshirts.com, because originally we were censored online, and we said, hey, there still has to be a way where we could get these voices out there to the general public. This is one of the best ways, and we are now predominantly more of a t-shirt company than even an independent media company, as of course the number of shirts that we're able to get out there, the number of ideas we're able to get out there just through cloth is absolutely incredible and amazing. And if you're feeling down or if you're bored, just scrolling through these shirts will absolutely make you laugh. You want to meet like-minded people? This is one of the best ways to do this. And again, we have holiday shirts. These make great gift items. And whether you're looking for hoodies, tank tops, long sleeves, you name it, we got it all on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And again, maybe we have the prospects, maybe we have the possibility of finally being able to express political ideas without censorship. And if that's the case, that's an amazing potential future that could solve a lot of our problems in our current society. Because being able to talk things out, being able to, of course, de-escalate situation, de-radicalize individuals, talk down bad ideas with good ideas is one of the key essential components towards a cohesive, growing, progressive society. Progressive means growing, not the political idea. You know what I mean. But we do have to recognize that this is all possible because of Elon Musk's acquisition of Twitter. Will he keep his promise? Well, of course, we're going to be keeping his feet to the fire here, as we have previously on other broadcasts before. But so far, things have gotten off at a very promising start, especially when it came to firing a lot of the head people at Twitter, especially when it comes to some of the things that Elon Musk is publicly tweeting about, talking about how comedy is now back, talking about the important need of communication, talking about how individuals will be getting their accounts back. And to some people, this is absolutely horrible. Why would it be horrible? Well, if you allow people to talk freely with each other, they could actually talk and criticize a lot of people in power who don't want them talking to each other and finding out what's really happening to them. And this is why we have seen a concerted effort and larger attack pieces by a lot of very powerful institutions like The Independent, that just declared that Twitter is dead at the hand of Elon Musk. Again, just dramatic, emotional, hyper drivel that doesn't amount to anything. And very interestingly, instead of Joe Schmo, instead of just the average small user with 10 or 100 followers getting fact-checked, or anything anti-establishment being fact-checked, for the first time, we're seeing the President of the United States, Joe Biden, being fact-checked on Twitter, correcting his statements where he is toting how the Inflation Reduction Act puts an end to 55 corporations paying $0 in federal tax, with the fact-check actually reading how it's only 14 of them that would be eligible for this new tax law. Will they be taxed? Will there be a loophole? Well, we don't know. But again, the President of the United States was saying something that was inaccurate. And very surprisingly, he was held accountable to it, which the corporate mainstream media was supposed to be doing, but they didn't. And it's not just Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden getting fact-checked and presented alternative possibilities to what's happening out there. It's also LeBron James, that from an elitist point of view talked about how some people are unfit to have free speech, describing how people are using bad words here, which Elon Musk officially responded to, saying that the people using all these bad words were inauthentic accounts, fake accounts, spam accounts, as there's a possibility that, of course, spam users were taking this advantage in order to try to make Twitter look bad. Elon Musk is calling it out and actually going after the trolling campaigns that are inauthentic. There was another ballot harvesting report that actually Twitter flagged, which Tom Fitton, the president of Judicial Watch, came out and complained about, which Elon Musk actually responded to saying, I will look into this. Quote, Twitter should be even-handed, favoring neither sides, and that's a great way to deal with this. And there's a lot of bullcrap out there. There's a lot of lies out there presented by, of course, central controllers and politicians. Will they now be fact-checked on Twitter if that's a possibility where they could actually face the reality of their words? Holy cow, we're talking about a landscape that is absolutely worth paying attention to, and why. Personally, I'm going to be using Twitter a lot more from now. My account is @LukeWeAreChange. And again, there's a lot of other stuff that should be flagged as disinformation, like this Bilderberg European Central Bank President Christine Lagarde coming out and now saying today that inflation came from nowhere. And that's an absolute lie. That's almost impossible to happen here, as of course what we're going through is not a recession, it's a robbery, as central bankers and politicians have essentially bankrupted the world, and we're going to be paying the larger consequences of that. And in the larger scheme of things, the bigger financial mess we are in, I think, is a lot more serious than some mean tweets that people are, of course, are obsessing about and acting like children about. Again, what's going to be happening with Twitter? I don't know. So far, things are actually going in the right direction, and I can't complain here. Has everything happened that I wanted to happen immediately? No. But I understand in life you don't always get things you want. It's important to be patient. It's important to wait here. As we wait and see this entire thing kind of progress, where is it going to be going? Well, probably towards a WeChat society. And as I previously said before, if Twitter, if X, if it becomes the next WeChat and is integrated in all of society, then I will become critical of it. But so far, I think we have a very incredible opportunity that I think we should not only take advantage of, but we should take seriously as independent content creators and try to, of course, make this a place that is the place to be rather than the place to run away from. I'm going to be doing that as best as I can. LukeWeAreChange on Twitter. See you there for that conversation. If you liked my opinions and perspectives, share this video with your friends and family members. It's more imperative than ever. If you disagreed with them, let me know why down in the comment section below. I always appreciate constructive criticism. I always appreciate the ability to be wrong and to see things from a light and a perspective that I didn't see before. And you guys participating in that, you guys still being here all the way at the end of this video, you guys buying the t-shirts is one of the reasons that I'm still here, and this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.